Okay, I just had to make a follow-up video. So a while back, I made this video discussing Nagi Umino and Sousuke Amano's first time meeting one another, and the conversation they've had. If you've missed that video, I highly encourage you guys to check it out before this one, so I'll leave an annotation up in the corner for those of you guys interested in the details. So with that in mind, let's consider this a part 2 and dive on in. Also, warning, this video will hold spoilers for a couple of Cuckoos manga chapters 145, 189, and 195. So volume 21, chapter 195 has recently surfaced. This very chapter holds a very pinnacle moment I've just been dying to see unfold. So a few chapters ago, during Fowl 189, Nagi has met his mysterious older brother he's never seen or talked to before, during Nagi and Erika's recon mission as spies, infiltrating the Hakane Starlight Resort. During Nagi's time in the hot springs, one of the other guys in there was indeed Sousuke Amano. At the time, Nagi didn't connect heads and tails with the stranger. However, he did find him to be very cool, and complimented him that he'd make a good older brother. On the other hand, Sousuke knew he was speaking to Nagi in the hot springs, so it was a one-sided trade. Sousuke didn't want to reveal his name as Sousuke, as that's one of the only pieces of information Nagi has to distinguish his brother. Sousuke waited for the time it'd take for Nagi to realize he was speaking to his older brother. However, a second thought blew over Sousuke, calling a retreat. Right before Nagi could have pieced together the identity of the stranger, Sousuke disappeared. Fast forward all the way to the new Fowl 195. Sachi learns about how Nagi and Erika have been pinned up against Sousuke. A battle of hotel dominance. The last thing Sousuke has ever said to Sachi was during Fowl 145. I came back to crush the Amano family. However, at the time, Sachi didn't quite catch that, as she was in a haze. So during the present time in Fowl 145, her memory was fuzzy while discussing her introduction to Sousuke. I am absolutely hyped to see the War of the Hotels expanded on. Definitely the most captivating arc so far. But with that in mind, back in Fowl 195, Nagi, who's collected all the dead leaves and branches, is ordered to use them in a bonfire to get rid of them. With the bonfire having been started, a familiar gentleman pulls up in his car behind Nagi. The man exits the car, and in this absolutely badass shot, stands directly behind Nagi. Who's the stranger, you might ask? Well, this is the very stranger from the hot springs back in the Starlight Resort. That very stranger whose identity is Sousuke Amano. Nagi, preoccupied on the fire and who's lost in thought, didn't even notice anything happened behind him. Not the car pulling up, no doors, no footsteps, nothing. It took until the stranger opened his mouth to say, "We meet again," for Nagi to realize someone was behind him. Nagi, who was incredibly surprised to find this guy behind him once again. Sousuke said he was thinking about spending the night here at Amano Nebula Villa. Nagi revealed that he's an employee here, and Sousuke, who had already pieced the puzzle together long ago, came out and exposed Nagi's spying at the Starlight Resort, as he's working for a rival hotel. Laughing and brushing it off, Nagi agrees with the man, not knowing the man he's talking to is behind the Starlight Resort. The two indulge in a conversation about family. Nagi has been deep in thought ever since the bonfire was lit, thinking about how there's families in the world that just don't get along, a concept that was fairly foreign to him. With some grilled potatoes brought over to Nagi to eat, he offers one to the stranger. Continuing their conversation, Nagi outwardly wonders that it does appear that parents and children fight. So what exactly has to happen in order for things to end up in such a way? Yes, this conversation they're having is in direct reference to Shorichiro, Nagi and Sousuke's biological father, the man who cared and raised Sousuke for a portion of his childhood. How Shorichiro denies Sousuke's very existence, and how Nagi knows of Sousuke's plan to take down the Amano group. So indeed, it's exactly as he claims. Parents and children fight, but what happens in between for things to end up the way they have? And right after that question, yet another absolutely badass scene takes place. With a bonfire crackling between the two men, the stranger asks Nagi for his opinion on that question. It was right there and then. Ashes blowing around, the fire lighting up their eyes from below. Nagi had finally pieced together that this man he's been talking to as of late is his older brother, Sousuke. Nagi jumps up to his feet and takes a step back in shock. This was the moment Sousuke was waiting for, the day they'd meet like this, both of them knowing who the other is. Sousuke hugs his younger brother he's never touched before up until now. He claims he wants to get along. And boy oh boy, the face Nagi makes in this final panel of this chapter here speaks volumes. I don't know if he trusts Sousuke, at least not right now. Oh man, what an absolutely badass chapter. The hype is real, my friends. I am so curious just what can happen at this point. Having Nagi and Sousuke finally come face to face, Sousuke's identity opened. How is this going to affect Nagi? Nagi, who sworn to fight against the Starlight Resort. And will we hear Nagi confront Sousuke with a theory of his very own question? What exactly is Sousuke's master plan? The same man who vowed to crush the Amano group in cold blood. Can Nagi really put his trust in him? Bro, this is pure hype. In all honesty, I do think the Hotel War arc is definitely my personal favorite so far. But yeah, what are your opinions of this? Any theories as to what you think will happen next during this arc? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, thank you all so very much for taking the time to watch my video, I really appreciate that. If you've enjoyed, why not leave a like rating on the video? Thank you tremendously for the support. And also, why not subscribe and you'll be updated on any new videos. And let me know if you want to see more a couple of Cuckoos videos from me. If you'd like to see my part 1 on this topic, click the video you're currently seeing on your screen. Or maybe, if you'd like to see some awesome gameplay on the new SpongeBob game, click the other video that you're currently seeing on your screen.